Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. You know, when you book a Caribbean cruise, these are the sort of visions that pop in your mind. However, I believe the theme for this cruise should be a series of unfortunate events. To begin with, we were one of the many fortunate travelers booked to fly the day the FAA computer system crashed. After a morning filled with change of plans, including perhaps even driving to Tampa, Southwest managed to get us rebooked on a later flight, and we boarded the plane with our friends Kurt and Shannon, headed to Tampa. However, the change of flight plans did require us to run through the Houston airport to catch our next flight. After all of that, we finally arrived in Tampa. Little did we know once we arrived in Tampa that our series of unfortunate events were just beginning. The next morning we had just a few hours to explore Tampa before heading to the cruise terminal to board our ship. It's been a while, but I am bringing back my special guest narrator to help out with the next few scenes in the video.
This is the ship that Papa, Grant, and Gigi were on. Okay, I like helicopters. That looks really cool.
Thank you very much, Alex. We'll have to bring you back again for another guest appearance in a future video. So after all the drama and chaos of the flights the previous day, the process of boarding the cruise ship and leaving port went very smoothly. However, our luck would not last. Before we go any further, I do want to mention our affiliate sponsorship with Fairdrop.com. Once you sign up, Fairdrop.com searches through thousands of flights each day and sends flights that match your profile. Here are some real screenshots of deals sent to us through Fairdrop.com. We have used the app to book several flights for our adventures. We recently took advantage of this very deal here for a flight to San Juan for a future cruise. Click the link below for more details. If you do sign up using our link, we do get a small commission to help support the channel. The next morning we awoke to a beautiful winter day in Key West, Florida. However, that morning our next series of unfortunate events took place. Royal Caribbean informed us our booked excursion of the Glass Bottom boat tour had been canceled due to our rain forecast that afternoon. We were disappointed that our excursion had been canceled. However, it's January, you're in Key West, Florida, and it's 75 degrees. It's not a bad place to be stuck for a day. Well, since our excursion was canceled, we decided to make our first stop on the island the southernmost point marker because, you know, we are being tourists today. The southernmost point marker is about a mile from the cruise terminal. We just chose to walk down there, and on the way, see mile 0 of Highway 1. I've heard stories of the line to take your picture at this little touristy spot to be very long at times. Luckily, the day we were there, it wasn't too bad, about 15 minutes. After successfully completing our quest to obtain the southernmost point picture, which I'm sure will end up on the Christmas card later this year, we then walked on the beach for a little bit, stopped in and had a beverage, and decided to work our way back toward the cruise terminal up Duval Street. We're working our way back up Duval Street. That's when the rain that was predicted hit Key West. Luckily, we managed to duck into the Old Town Tavern, as you see here, and find a table to wait the rain out. After the rain cleared away, we worked our way back up Duval Street to the cruise port. And by the way, I do believe it is virtually impossible to go thirsty in Key West, Florida. There are a plethora of options to obtain a beverage in town. And despite the fact that our excursion had been canceled, we all agreed we had a great day in Key West. Our ship, the Brilliance of the Seas, then pulled away from the dock, and we looked forward to the next day in the Bahamas. Back on the ship, we settled in with an adult beverage, had dinner, and made plans for the Bahamas the next day. As we cruised away from Key West headed toward the Bahamas, we had no idea our plans would have one more major change the following day. Woke up the next morning just off the coast of Grand Bahama to a beautiful day, just rather windy. During breakfast, the captain announced that due to the wind, the ship would not be able to dock at Grand Bahama. Well, we all did get to see the Bahamas, just nobody was allowed to step foot on shore that day. And my video does not do it justice. The sea was very rough. As it turned out, there were multiple ships that day all over the Bahamas that were not allowed to come into port. Here's just a small example of the wind up at the bow of the ship. And no, Shannon was not doing a flashback hairstyle to the 1980s. This was just how the wind was blowing that day. So after waving goodbye to the Bahamas, the captain then gave us a rather slow 2-day cruise back to Tampa. So after the issues with the flight, then the excursion in Key West was canceled. The final straw was the cancellation of the Bahamas port stop, which to me was by far the biggest thing to miss. Thank you for watching today's video. If you've been on a cruise and had a port of call canceled, leave it in the comments below. I'd like to discuss that and see how often this happens. Also, please like, share, and subscribe. Be on the lookout for more videos of our further adventures.